Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ahmed, and in this second part of C Sharp database programming using Microsoft Access 2010 or any other version, we will continue with our previous example that we created a database named students and placed it on our desktop. We created a table named students, and in this table we created four fields and give some dummy data to this. Let's close this application, go to C Sharp, and this is the code we did previously. Let me run it one more time to show you where we were. So basically what this will do is connect to the database and fetch two columns, and then the names will be displayed in the data list. Now taking this to the next level, we will create a select item but using a data grid. Data grid is a collection of a control that is very similar to access. This control is placed under in the toolbox. It is placed under data collection and then data grid view. Simply let's drag and drop it over here. Get rid of these controls. Place it over here. And for the time being, we will comment all of this code. This namespace was included, but since we are not using any class, so it is irrelevant. Let's run it and see what the data grid view looks like. This is a blank data grid, nothing in it. So the data grid is basically a collection of columns and rows. I will create, this is the data grid. We haven't named it anything, so data grid view 1 is the default name. So in this data grid we will move on to its property named collection, but collection is not just a property, it is literally a collection of columns, and it is just like an array list or a list. We can add columns, we can remove columns, we can search for column, all the things that were available, and we can also get rid of all the columns. So let me add a column. It is asking me for a data grid view column, but the other constructor, the other method, overload method, is asking for just a name and a header text, the name of the column and the code behind column and the header text. So let me give, both are string, so let me give it a student ID, and over here I will give it a student ID. Now let me run this code and we will see that a column is added, student ID, and by default it allows to edit it. Remember, we haven't done anything related to the database yet. This data grid view is simply a disconnected, isolated control. I can add anything to it. I can add more records over here. So this allows me to simply edit anything. Pressing the delete button will delete the record. Again, selecting over here and deleting will delete the record. So this it allows us to edit any row, any column. Let me add one more column to it, student name, and for a change let's give it full name with a space. Let's run it. I have now two columns and it allows me to directly edit anything. No controls, nothing, no validation, nothing. Selecting it and pressing the delete button will delete the record. Now let's try to disable this feature of adding rows automatically. I'll call the name data grid view, and these are a huge list of properties that we are provided with. Allow user to add rows, okay, and we will give it a value of false. Running it, what will happen? now we don't have that option available. We cannot add more rows. The only rows available are those which are preloaded over here, and nothing is preloaded for the time being. Now let's add a row using our logic. Similar to columns, rows are also a collection. I'll just add a row, and what it's saying, just give it nothing. The other collection is data grid view row, then the count, how many rows to add simultaneously, and the fourth one is using the parent keyword. Let's keep it very simple. I'll just add a blank row, and see, a blank row is added. Now I also want this row to have some data, so data grid view dot rows dot, these are the properties, but to access a particular row we can get rid of the dot symbol and use the square. This way we can access it just like an array, because this is basically an array list. So we'll go to the first row. Now this is a complete row. Each row has two columns now, so to identify the column we can use this second collection, which is called cells. And which cell we are talking about, the first cell or the second cell, which cell, we can use both ways, a column or a column name or an ID. So in the first case I will use a column ID and give it a value, and over here I'll give the value of this is the ID, so I'll give it 100. Now let me run this code, make sure that okay, it worked. Now just similar to this we will add another row, the data to the next cell, but using string. So I will now use student name dot value, and in the value part I will just give it any name. So great, this is simple, this is easy. We can access this way, we can simply access or simply add rows and manipulate the values with it. Very easy to use. Now what if we want to do this same thing, but we want to load the data from the Access database? So up till now over here it is fine. We need to add few more columns. The other columns were let me make sure I'm doing everything right. Okay, second is the student CNIC, and the third is the student CNIC, and the fourth is student DOB, date of birth. Student CNIC. Okay, this is fine. Now we can remove it. I'll cut it from here, and now because we need to load this data from the database, so I will uncomment this relevant code. Over here what we need is, I can use anything, I can list the columns, or I can simply use asterisk. Of course this will give us an error, so paste the code over here. Every time this loop runs, a new row will be added and the data will also be added, but the data this time will not be coming from the static data, little data, but rather from this reader. So what we will do is reader O and toString reader 1 toString. For the rest is just copy paste. To be more clear, let's give it student ID. Of course it will run perfectly without giving it. So let's run it and see if it worked. and I guess we're going to, okay, it did work, but the problem is that, yeah, this is the problem. Every time we're using 0, so we need to increment this. How is it possible? We can create a new variable I and increment it every time, or we can simply do another thing. Data grade, data grade view 1 dot rows dot count plus 1. Hopefully you understood what it will do. Run it and going to get an exception, I guess. Index out of range. Okay. So data is loaded now in this grid view. Very easy to use. Now there's another way of adding data to this data grid view, that is using binding. I'm not going to get into this right now, but you can simply, what you can do is data source. This is the property that is used, and it will, what it will do, it automatically get all the schema from the reader and place it over here. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that detail right now. So this was the second part of this series, and I hope you can make good use of it.